Hello, and a very warm welcome to Bookish English. My name is Ariel, and I am so genuinely glad you are here with me today. Whether this is your very first time on this channel, or whether you have been quietly returning to my videos week after week, I want you to know that I see you, I appreciate you, and I am truly honored that you have chosen to spend the next hour and a bit of your precious life learning English with me. Before we begin, I want to promise you 3 small things, in the same way I always do. I promise to speak slowly and warmly, so that every word is easy for you to follow. I promise to teach you real English, the kind that real people actually use in real job interviews, in real offices, all over the English-speaking world. Not the stiff textbook English that leaves you sounding robotic in the moment you most need to sound human. And I promise to treat you with kindness from the first minute to the last, because I truly believe that learning a language should feel warm, not stressful, and never shameful. Today's video is going to be one of the most practical videos I have ever made for you, because we are going to talk about something that quietly terrifies almost every English learner in the world, and something that has the power to change your entire career, your entire income, and your entire life. We are going to talk about English job interviews, and by the end of this video, you will not just understand how they work. You will have 30 real questions and 30 real answers living warmly inside your mouth, ready to come out in the next interview you walk into, whenever that day arrives. Let me tell you honestly why this matters so much. A job interview is often the single most important 45-minute conversation of your professional life. In the space of one small warm meeting, a stranger decides whether to hand you an opportunity that could double your income, move you to a new city, connect you with new friends, teach you new skills, and shape who you become as a working person for years to come. That is an enormous amount of weight to place on one small conversation. And yet, most English learners walk into these small conversations completely unprepared, and then they wonder why they keep getting rejected. I do not want that to be you. I want you to walk into your next interview with real preparation, real warm answers, and real quiet confidence that comes from knowing exactly what to say and how to say it. That is my promise to you today, and I intend to keep it. So please, get yourself comfortable. Grab a warm cup of tea or coffee if you like. Sit somewhere quiet where you can practice the answers out loud with me without feeling shy. Have a small notebook and pen beside you if you can, because the phrases we practice today are worth writing down. And when you are ready, we will begin together, gently, warmly, at your own pace. Let me start by telling you why English job interviews feel so terrifying, because I think most learners misunderstand their own fear. And once you understand it, half the fear disappears immediately. You are not scared of English job interviews because your English is bad. Please hear me on this. Your English is not the real problem. If you can watch this video and understand most of what I am saying right now, your English is genuinely good enough to answer interview questions in a warm and real way. The real reason interviews feel so terrifying is that they combine 2 of the deepest human fears at the same time. The first fear is the fear of being judged by strangers, which is a fear that has lived inside human beings for thousands of years, since we all lived in small tribes and being rejected by strangers meant real danger. The second fear is the fear of losing an important opportunity, and interviews are opportunities that could change your entire life, so the pressure feels enormous. When you combine these 2 ancient human fears with the small extra pressure of speaking in your second language, you get what feels like an impossible mountain. But it is not an impossible mountain. It is just three feelings layered on top of each other in one small room for about 45 minutes of your life. And every single one of those feelings can be quietened if you know how. Here is what interviewers are actually looking for in you. And once you understand this, everything changes. Interviewers are not looking for perfect English. They are not looking for flawless grammar. They are not looking for a beautiful accent. They are looking for three simple things. They are looking to see whether you are warm and easy to work with. They are looking to see whether you have the basic skills the job requires. And they are looking to see whether you actually want this job, or whether you are just applying because you are desperate. That is it. Those are the three things, and every single one of those three things can be shown clearly through simple, warm, honest English answers, even if your grammar is not perfect and your accent is very noticeable. Warm and honest beats grammatically perfect every single time, in every single interview, in every single English-speaking country in the world. Before we walk through the 30 questions, I want to give you one small golden rule that will change how you answer every single interview question for the rest of your life. Please listen carefully to this rule, because if you remember nothing else from this video, please remember this. The rule is this: every good interview answer follows a small, warm shape. You give a short, direct answer to the question. Then you give one small piece of evidence, a small example from your real life that supports your answer. Then you connect it warmly to the job you are applying for. Direct answer, small example, warm connection. Three small pieces. That is the shape of every strong interview answer in the English-speaking world. Let me show you what this looks like in practice, because it is easier to understand once you see it. Imagine the interviewer asks you a small question like, "Are you good at working in a team?" A weak answer would be, "Yes, I am." That is a direct answer, but it has no evidence and no connection, so it feels empty and forgettable. A strong answer using the small, warm shape would be, "Yes, I really enjoy working in a team. In my last job at a small marketing agency in London, I worked closely with 3 colleagues on a large project, and we became genuinely good friends as well as good workmates. I think that kind of warm teamwork is exactly what I would love to bring to your company." Notice the 3 parts. Direct answer: "Yes, I really enjoy working in a team." Small example: in my last job, I worked closely with 3 colleagues. Warm connection: that is exactly what I would love to bring to your company. Direct example: connection. Please remember this shape. Every strong answer in this video will use it. So I want you to notice it as we go. There is one more small piece of preparation advice I want to give you before we start walking through the 30 questions. Please do not memorize the answers word for word from this video. Instead, learn the shape of each answer and then plug in your own real examples from your own real life. Interviewers can immediately tell when an answer sounds memorized because it comes out too smoothly and too quickly. Warm answers have small, natural pauses. Warm answers have small, honest hesitations. Warm answers sound like a real human thinking about the question in real time. So please use my answers as templates, not as scripts. Practice the shape until it comes out naturally. Then fill it with your own honest details. That is how you sound prepared without sounding rehearsed. And it is the small, quiet skill that separates candidates who get offers from candidates who almost do. Now let me walk you through the 30 questions, one by one, giving you a real question, a real strong answer, and small notes on why the answer works. I want you to say each answer out loud with me, warmly, in the same voice you would use in a real interview. Reading the answers silently in your head will teach you almost nothing. Saying them out loud, warmly, even in a whisper, will change your mouth and your brain in ways you will feel within days. Please, please say them with me. This is where the real value of this video lives. Question 1 is the very first question that almost every English interview starts with, and it is the one that trips up more learners than any other single question in the entire process. The question is, tell me about yourself. Please listen to me carefully, because this question is not really asking you to tell your life story. It is asking you to give a warm 2-minute professional introduction that helps the interviewer understand who you are as a working person. A strong answer sounds like this. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Emma, and I have been working in customer service for about 5 years now. I started out at a small call center in Manchester, where I learned how to handle difficult customer conversations warmly and patiently. About 2 years ago, I moved to a slightly bigger company in London, where I now lead a small team of 3 people. I really love working with customers because I love helping people solve small problems that make their day better. And I am looking for a new role where I can grow into a slightly bigger leadership position, which is why I was so excited to see this opportunity at your company. Please say the shortest version of this with me now, warmly. My name is Emma. I have been working in customer service for about 5 years. I love helping people solve small problems, and I am looking for a role where I can grow. Now my name is, and please add your own real name. I have been working in my field for about however long. I love the reason you love it, and I am looking for a role where I can grow. Please pause the video and try saying this small shape out loud with your own real details. This one small answer, memorized warmly, will save you in every future interview. Question 2 is another very common opener. The question is, why are you interested in this position? This is where most learners give a boring answer like, because I need a job. Please, please never say that, even if it is true. A strong answer connects your real interest to something specific about the company. It sounds like this. I am really interested in this position for a few honest reasons. First, I have been following your company for a while now, and I really admire the way you treat your customers warmly, which matches how I like to work. Second, the specific responsibilities of this role feel like the natural next step for my career, because I have been doing similar work at my current company, but I would love a slightly bigger challenge. And third, honestly, the team I would be joining sounds wonderful based on what I read about the company culture, so I am genuinely excited to be here today. Say a small piece of this with me now. I am really interested in this position because now you finish the sentence with your own honest reason. Please pause and try 3 real reasons out loud. Question 3 is one that surprises many learners. The question is, what do you know about our company? Please, please, please prepare for this question before every single interview, because it is asked in almost every professional interview in the English-speaking world. And if you cannot answer it warmly, the interviewer will think you did not care enough to prepare. Spend 15 minutes on the company website before your interview. Read their About page. Read 1 or 2 recent news articles about them. A strong answer sounds like this. I have spent some time reading about your company before coming here today. I know that you started about 10 years ago in Brighton and that you have grown to about 200 employees. I really admire your recent work on the customer experience project I read about last week. And I have heard from a friend who used to work here that the team culture is genuinely warm and supportive, which is exactly the kind of environment where I do my best work. Say the opening line with me now. I have spent some time reading about your company before coming here today. Now I have spent some time reading about your company before coming here today. Good. That opening line alone signals warmly that you prepared, which puts you ahead of most other candidates. Question 4 is, why are you leaving your current job? This is a small emotional trap, and I want to save you from it. Please, please never speak badly about your current or previous employer, even if you truly hated working there. Speaking badly makes you look unprofessional, and the interviewer will worry that you might speak badly about them one day too. Instead, always frame your reason for leaving in a positive, forward-looking way. A strong answer sounds like this: I have really enjoyed my time at my current company, and I have learned so much there over the last 3 years, but I am now at a point where I feel ready for a slightly bigger challenge. And honestly, the opportunities to grow at my current place are quite limited because it is a small team. So I am looking for a role where I can continue to grow, which is why this position feels like such a wonderful fit for me. Say the small, warm sentence with me now. I have really enjoyed my time at my current company, but I am ready for a slightly bigger challenge. Now you. I have really enjoyed my time at my current company, but I am ready for a slightly bigger challenge. Beautiful. That small sentence is your professional shield. Question 5 is, what are your salary expectations? This question makes almost every learner nervous because it feels like a small trap. There is a small, graceful way to handle it. You do not give an exact number too early. You give a small, warm answer that shows you are flexible and reasonable. A strong answer sounds like this: honestly, I would love to learn a little more about the full role and the benefits package before giving you a specific number. But based on my research into similar positions in this area, I would expect a salary somewhere in the range of the market rate for this kind of role. I am genuinely more interested in the right fit and the right opportunity than in the exact number, so I am confident we can find something that works for both of us. Say the small, honest opening line with me. Honestly, I would love to learn a little more about the full role before giving you a specific number. Now you. Honestly, I would love to learn a little more about the full role before giving you a specific number. That gentle sentence protects you from naming a number too early. Question 6 is, when could you start? This one is easy, but many learners answer badly by saying, immediately. That actually sounds slightly desperate, and it also can suggest that you are willing to leave your current employer without warning them properly, which makes you look unprofessional. A strong answer sounds like this: I would need to give my current employer about 2 weeks of notice, out of respect for them and the team, so I could start about 2 weeks after we agreed on the details. Of course, if there is any flexibility needed on either side, I am happy to discuss it warmly. Say the polite sentence with me. I would need to give my current employer about 2 weeks of notice. Notice how professional that sounds. It signals that you are the kind of person who treats employers with respect, which is exactly what a new employer wants to hear. Question 7 is, what is your greatest strength? This is a small gift of a question because it lets you talk about the best version of yourself. Please, please do not be shy here. A weak answer is, I work hard. That is boring and vague. A strong answer picks one clear strength and gives a small, real example. It sounds like this: I think my biggest strength is that I stay calm and warm under pressure. For example, at my current job, we sometimes have very busy days where 5 things go wrong at once, and while other colleagues get stressed, I have noticed that I actually become more focused and more helpful. My manager has mentioned this to me a few times, and honestly, I think it is one of the things that would make me valuable in this fast-paced role. Say the opening sentence with me. I think my biggest strength is that I stay calm under pressure. Please, please, choose your own real strength before your next interview, and build a small warm answer around it, following this same three-part shape. Now we move into questions about your experience, and these are the ones where the small, warm shape of direct answer, example, and connection matters most. Question 8 is, can you walk me through your work experience? This is a slightly longer version of question 1, and it needs a small, warm structure. Take the interviewer chronologically through your last 2 or 3 jobs, spending about 1 minute on each, focusing on what you learned and what you achieved. A strong answer sounds like this. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. I started my career about 7 years ago at a small design agency in Manchester, where I worked as a junior designer for about 2 years and learned the basics of the industry warmly. From there, I moved to a larger company in London, where I stayed for 4 years and slowly grew into a senior designer role, leading small projects and mentoring newer designers. About a year ago, I moved to my current company, where I now lead a team of 5 people, and I have really enjoyed learning what it means to be a manager. And now I am looking for the next step, which is exactly why I am here today. Say the opening line with me. I started my career about 7 years ago. Now you. I started my career about, and add your own real time. Please prepare this small chronological walkthrough before every interview. Question 9 is, what did you enjoy most about your last job? This question tests whether you are a positive person and whether you can find warm things to say about your work life. A strong answer picks one specific thing and explains why it mattered to you. It sounds like this. Honestly, what I enjoyed most was the small team of colleagues I worked with. There were 4 of us on my immediate team, and we became genuinely close over the last 2 years. We supported each other through hard weeks, we celebrated together on good weeks, and I learned so much from each of them. I think that kind of warm human connection at work is one of the things I value most in a job, and it is one of the things I hope to find here too. Say the warm opening with me. What I enjoyed most was the small team of colleagues I worked with. Now you. What I enjoyed most was, and add your own honest answer. Question 10 is, what did you find most challenging in your last role? This is where you show honesty and growth. Please, please do not say, nothing was challenging. That sounds arrogant and unbelievable. Instead, pick a real challenge, explain it warmly, and show how you handled it. A strong answer sounds like this. The most challenging thing was probably the workload during our busiest quarter, when we had 3 major projects running at the same time. I honestly felt overwhelmed for a few weeks, and I had to learn quickly how to prioritize better and how to ask for help when I needed it. It taught me a lot about my own limits, and now I feel much more confident handling multiple projects at once, which I think will actually help me in this role. Say the honest opening line with me. The most challenging thing was probably the workload during our busiest quarter. Now you. The most challenging thing was, and share your own real challenge honestly. Question 11 is, tell me about a project you are proud of. This is another gift question, so please use it warmly. Pick one specific project, describe it briefly, explain your role in it, and share the outcome. A strong answer sounds like this. One project I am really proud of was a customer research study I led last year for my team. We had noticed that our customer satisfaction scores were slowly dropping, and my manager asked me to figure out why. I spent about 6 weeks interviewing customers, gathering their feedback warmly, and then presenting my findings to the whole company. The company made 3 changes based on my recommendations, and 6 months later our satisfaction scores were higher than they had ever been. I am really proud of that whole journey, because it showed me that careful listening can create real change. Say the opening line with me. One project I am really proud of was a customer research study I led last year. Now you finish this sentence with your own real proud moment. Question 12 is, have you ever had a difficult manager or colleague, and how did you handle it? This is a small emotional trap, so please handle it carefully. Do not say bad things about specific people. Focus on the situation and how you handled it warmly. A strong answer sounds like this. Yes, I once worked with a colleague who was quite different from me in the way she communicated. She preferred very direct feedback, and I tended to be a bit softer. It caused some small tensions at first, but I decided to have a warm, honest conversation with her about how we could work better together. We agreed to meet weekly for 15 minutes to check in, and things improved significantly. I actually learned a lot from her over the following year, and we became genuinely good workmates. So I think that experience taught me the value of warm, honest communication when things feel difficult. Say the small, warm opening line with me. Question 13 is, how do you handle stress and pressure? This is where you show emotional stability and self-awareness. A strong answer describes real techniques you actually use. It sounds like this. I have thought about this a lot over the years, and I have found a few small things that really help me. First, when I feel stressed, I try to take a small 5-minute break, get some water, and take a few slow, deep breaths. Second, I try to break big, overwhelming tasks into smaller pieces so I can focus on just the next small step. And third, I have learned to ask for help when I need it, which was hard for me at first, but it has made a huge difference. Overall, I think I have become pretty calm under pressure, and it is something I actually enjoy about my work now. Say the calm opening line with me. When I feel stressed, I take a small 5-minute break and take a few slow, deep breaths. Now you. When I feel stressed, and add your own real coping technique. Question 14 is, why should we hire you? This is one of the boldest questions in interviews, and it lets you make your case warmly. A strong answer sounds confident but not arrogant. It sounds like this. That is a great question. I think you should hire me for 3 main reasons. First, I have the specific experience and skills you are looking for, based on the job description. Second, I genuinely care about the kind of work your company does, and I think that warmth would come through in everything I did here. And third, I am at a stage in my career where I am hungry to grow, so you would be getting someone who is genuinely committed to doing their best work every single day. Honestly, I would love to be part of your team. Say the strong opening line with me. I think you should hire me for 3 main reasons. Now you. I think you should hire me for 3 main reasons, and add your own 3 warm reasons. Now we move into questions about your skills and personality, which are often the softest and warmest part of the interview. Question 15 is, how would your colleagues describe you? This is a small, warm question that lets you show self-awareness. A strong answer offers 2 or 3 specific words and a small example. It sounds like this. My colleagues would probably describe me as calm, helpful, and a bit funny. I know they would say calm because I have been told many times that I am the person people come to when they need to think something through carefully. They would say helpful because I really enjoy supporting my teammates when they are stuck, and a bit funny because I try to keep the small daily moments warm with small jokes, especially on hard weeks. Honestly, those 3 words would make me quite happy to hear about myself. Say the warm opening line with me. My colleagues would probably describe me as calm, helpful, and a bit funny. Now you. My colleagues would probably describe me as, and add your own 3 warm words. Question 16 is, what is your greatest weakness? This is one of the trickiest questions in every interview. Please do not say, I have no weaknesses. Do not say, I work too hard, because everyone knows that answer is fake. Instead, pick a real small weakness that is not central to the job and show how you are working on it. A strong answer sounds like this. Honestly, my biggest weakness is that I sometimes take on too much because I struggle to say no when colleagues ask for help. It has caused me to feel overwhelmed at times. Over the last year, I have been working on this by having a small planning session at the start of every week to decide what I can realistically take on, and I have gotten a lot better at politely explaining when I cannot help someone right away. It is still a small work in progress, but I have made real improvement. Say the honest opening line with me. My biggest weakness is that I sometimes take on too much because I struggle to say no. Now you, my biggest weakness is, and share your own real honest weakness with a small improvement plan. Question 17 is, do you prefer working alone or in a team? This is a small trick question because most real jobs need both. Please do not pick only one. A strong answer shows warm balance. It sounds like this. Honestly, I really enjoy both, and I think the best kind of work involves both. I love the energy and creativity of working in a warm team, especially in the early stages of a project when we are brainstorming together. But I also really enjoy the deep, focused hours of working alone, when I can get into the details and produce careful work. I think being comfortable with both is one of my small strengths, and it is one of the reasons I felt this role would fit me well. Say the balanced opening line with me. I really enjoy both working alone and working in a team. Now you. I really enjoy both, and add a small warm reason for each. Question 18 is, how do you handle feedback and criticism? This is where you show emotional maturity, which every employer is looking for. A strong answer sounds like this. Honestly, I have grown to genuinely appreciate feedback, even when it is hard to hear in the moment. My rule for myself is to listen fully first, without becoming defensive, and then to ask a small clarifying question if I need one. I try to sit with the feedback for a day or two before deciding what to change, so I can see it clearly instead of emotionally, and I always try to thank the person who gave me the feedback, because I know it took warmth on their part to share it with me. This approach has helped me grow a lot over the last few years. Say the small warm rule with me. I try to listen fully first without becoming defensive. Please, actually practice this in real life because it is one of the most valuable skills any working person can have. Question 19 is, what motivates you at work? This is a warm question about your inner drive. A strong answer sounds personal and specific. It sounds like this. A few things really motivate me. The first is genuinely helping the customers or the people who benefit from my work. When I hear that something I did made someone's life easier, that fills me up more than any bonus ever could. The second is learning something new, because I love the feeling of my brain stretching around a new idea. And the third is being part of a warm team, where we support each other and celebrate small wins together. When those three things are present, I do my best work by far. Say the small warm sentence with me. What motivates me is genuinely helping the people who benefit from my work. Now you, what motivates me is, and add your own honest motivation. Question 20 is, what is your working style? This helps the interviewer understand whether you would fit their team culture. A strong answer describes your rhythm honestly. It sounds like this. I tend to be a fairly organized person. I plan my week on Monday mornings, I keep a small to-do list, and I like to finish the harder things earlier in the day when my mind is fresh. I work best when I have some structure but also some flexibility. So I appreciate managers who give clear expectations but also trust me to figure out the details on my own. I am also a big believer in warm communication, so I try to keep my team informed about what I am doing without over-messaging them. Overall, I would say my style is calm, organized, and warm. Say the small, warm sentence with me. I would say my style is calm, organized, and warm. Now you. I would say my style is, and add your own 3 honest words. Now we move into the difficult and behavioral questions, which are the ones that surprise most learners. These questions all follow a small warm shape called the star shape, which stands for situation, task, action, and result. In other words, you describe the situation you were in, the task you needed to complete, the action you took, and the result that followed. Please remember these 4 small parts, because they will save you when the interviewer asks you difficult behavioral questions. Question 21 is, tell me about a time you made a mistake. This question terrifies many learners, but it is actually a chance to show honesty and growth. Please do not say, I have never made a mistake. That is not believable. Pick a real small mistake, take responsibility warmly, and show what you learned. A strong answer sounds like this. Yes, absolutely. Early in my career at a small company in Brighton, I was working on a report for a client, and I sent the email with the wrong version of the document attached. The client noticed the mistake right away, and my manager had to call them to apologize. I felt terrible, but I took full responsibility. I sent a warm follow-up apology myself, and I created a small checklist for myself to double-check every attachment before sending. I have never made the same mistake again, and honestly, it taught me the importance of a small pause before hitting send. Say the honest opening line with me. Early in my career, I sent an email with the wrong document attached. Now you. Early in my career, and add your own real small honest mistake. Question 22 is, tell me about a time you disagreed with your manager. This tests your ability to handle conflict warmly. A strong answer shows respect and warmth, even when disagreeing. It sounds like this. A few years ago, my manager wanted our team to change to a new project management tool that I honestly thought would slow us down. I did not want to just say no, so I asked if I could put together a short document explaining my concerns, along with an alternative suggestion. I sent it to him warmly, and we had a good conversation about it. He ended up going with a small mix of both approaches, and it worked out well for the team. I learned that disagreeing warmly, with clear reasons and a real alternative, is much more effective than simply resisting. Say the warm opening line with me. I asked if I could put together a short document explaining my concerns. Now you. I asked if I could, and add your own real disagreement handled warmly. Question 23 is, tell me about a time you had to work with a difficult customer or client. This is where you show your patience and warmth under pressure. A strong answer sounds like this. There was one customer at my last job who was consistently frustrated with our service, and honestly, she was quite hard to talk to at first. I decided to take a slightly different approach with her. I started every call by asking her warmly how her day was going, before we got into the business part. Slowly, over about 3 months, our relationship changed completely. She started calling me by my first name. She became one of our happiest customers, and she even sent us a small thank you note at the end of the year. I learned that even the most difficult people usually have a small, warm reason underneath their frustration. And if you meet that warmth, everything can change. Say the small, warm technique with me. I started every call by asking her warmly how her day was going. Now you. I started every call by and add your own real warm technique. Question 24 is, tell me about a time you failed. This is different from the mistake question. This is about something you tried, but that did not work. A strong answer shows resilience. It sounds like this. About 3 years ago, I applied for a small promotion within my company, and I honestly did not get it. It was hard for me at the time, because I really wanted it, but instead of becoming bitter, I asked my manager for warm, honest feedback about why the other person had been chosen. She gave me 3 specific things to work on, and I spent the next year focusing on those 3 things. When another similar opportunity came up 18 months later, I got it. So that early failure was actually one of the best things that happened to my career because it made me clearer about what I needed to grow. Say the resilient opening line with me. When I failed, I asked my manager for warm, honest feedback. Now you. When I failed, and add your own real resilient response. Question 25 is, tell me about a time you had to learn something new quickly. This shows your ability to adapt, which every employer values. A strong answer sounds like this. About a year ago, my manager asked me to take over a project that used a piece of software I had never used before, and I had 2 weeks to learn it. I spent the first weekend watching every tutorial video I could find. I asked a colleague who knew the software to give me a small 45-minute walkthrough over coffee, and I made small notes as I went so I could refer back to them later. By the end of the 2 weeks, I was comfortable enough to run the project, and by the end of the following month, I was actually helping other colleagues who were also new to the software. It taught me that learning quickly is really about warmth, focus, and asking for help early. Say the small, warm rule with me. Learning quickly is really about warmth, focus, and asking for help early. Now you. Learning quickly is really about warmth, focus, and asking for help early. Now we move into questions about the company and the future, which show whether you are thinking beyond just getting the job. Question 26 is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is a classic question, and many learners answer it badly by saying, in your position, which sounds a bit awkward. A strong answer shows warm ambition without being arrogant. It sounds like this. Honestly, 5 years is a long time to predict, but I have a small, warm sense of where I would love to be. In 5 years, I would love to have grown into a senior role in this field, with more responsibility, ideally leading a small team, and continuing to develop the skills I care most about. I would also love to still be working somewhere warm, where I feel connected to the mission and the people. If that happened here at your company, that would be a wonderful outcome for me. Say the warm, honest opening with me. In 5 years, I would love to have grown into a senior role, ideally leading a small team. Now you. In 5 years, I would love to, and add your own warm, honest vision. Question 27 is, why do you want to work here specifically? This is different from question 2, and it needs a more specific, more researched answer. A strong answer connects your personal values to the company's real work. It sounds like this. There are a few honest reasons. First, the specific work you do in your customer experience team is exactly the kind of work I want to grow into next. Second, from everything I have read and heard, the culture here seems genuinely warm and supportive, which matters to me a lot. Third, I have followed the company's growth over the last 2 years, and I am really excited about where you are headed. And fourth, honestly, this role feels like the right next step for my career, so it just feels like a good fit on multiple levels. Say the warm opening line with me. The specific work you do is exactly the kind of work I want to grow into next. Now you. The specific work you do is exactly the kind of work I want to grow into next. Please prepare a real version of this for every interview. Question 28 is, what do you know about our competitors? This is a more advanced question, and it tests your industry awareness. A strong answer shows warm knowledge without being disrespectful. It sounds like this. Yes, I have looked into your main competitors as well. From what I understand, you compete most closely with two other companies in this space. What I find really interesting is that your approach to customer experience seems warmer and more personal than theirs, which I think is a real advantage. Honestly, I think that warmth is one of the reasons customers stay with you longer, and it is one of the things that drew me to apply here rather than to your competitors. Say the warm sentence with me. Your approach seems warmer and more personal than your competitors. Now you. Your approach seems, and please, actually research this before your interview. Question 29 is, how do you see this role evolving in the next few years? This shows that you think about the future and not just the present. A strong answer sounds thoughtful and warm. It sounds like this. I see this role becoming increasingly important as the company grows. As you expand into new markets, the person in this position will probably take on more strategic responsibilities, more team leadership, and more direct impact on business results. Honestly, that evolution is one of the reasons this role excites me, because I want to grow into exactly those bigger responsibilities over the next few years. So I see the role and my own growth naturally moving in the same direction, which feels like a really good match. Say the warm sentence with me. I see this role becoming increasingly important as the company grows. Now you. I see this role becoming increasingly important. Beautiful. Now we come to question 30. This is actually the most powerful question of the entire interview, and the one that most learners handle badly. The question is, do you have any questions for us? Please, always have questions ready. Never, ever say, no, I do not have any questions. That signals that you are not really interested in the job, and it is one of the fastest ways to lose an offer at the very end. A strong candidate always has 3 or 4 thoughtful, warm questions ready. Let me give you some strong ones you can use in almost any interview. First, what does success look like in this role in the first 6 months? This shows you are thinking about performance and impact. Second, what do you enjoy most about working here? This makes the interviewer talk warmly about themselves, and it also gives you real insight into the culture. Third, what are the biggest challenges the team is facing right now? This shows you are thinking about how you could actually contribute. Fourth, what are the next steps in the process? This shows warm interest in continuing forward. Say these 4 warm questions with me now. What does success look like in this role in the first 6 months? What do you enjoy most about working here? What are the biggest challenges the team is facing right now? What are the next steps in the process? Now you. Please memorize these 4 questions warmly and use them in every interview. Before we say goodbye, I want to tell you a small, warm, true story about a woman named Emma, whose life was changed by exactly this kind of preparation. Emma had moved to London from another country about 4 years before I met her, and she was working in a small marketing role that she had honestly outgrown. She wanted to move to a bigger company, with better pay and better growth opportunities, but every time she went to an interview, she froze. Her English was fine on paper. She could write beautiful cover letters. But the moment she sat down across from an interviewer, her mind would go blank, her voice would shake, and she would give small nervous answers that never showed how capable she really was. She had been to 8 interviews over a year, and she had been rejected from every single one. By the 8th rejection, Emma was quietly starting to give up. She had begun telling herself that maybe she was not meant for a bigger career, that maybe her English was the ceiling, that maybe she should just stay in her small role forever and stop trying. She had stopped applying for jobs for 2 months, and she had been carrying a small, quiet sadness around with her that her friends had begun to notice. This is a story I have heard from hundreds of learners over the years, and it always breaks my heart, because the truth is that these learners are almost always more capable than they realize. Their English is fine, their skills are strong. What they are missing is just the small, warm preparation that would let their real abilities shine in the interview room. She came to me quietly one evening, and she asked if I could help her prepare for one more interview at a company she really cared about, in Manchester. She had 1 week. We spent that week working through exactly the 30 questions I have just walked through with you. She practiced each answer out loud, warmly, 3 times, every night, for 7 nights in a row. She wrote her own real examples down in a small notebook. She built her own version of the star shape for the difficult questions. And she prepared 4 warm questions to ask at the end. The interview happened on a Thursday morning. Emma walked in, sat down, and when the interviewer said, "Tell me about yourself," she did not freeze. She smiled warmly and gave the small, clean 2-minute answer she had practiced. When the interviewer asked her about a project she was proud of, she used the small, warm shape she had built. When the interviewer asked about a difficult colleague, she handled it with the warmth and grace she had rehearsed. And at the end, when the interviewer asked if she had any questions, she smiled and asked her 4 warm, prepared questions, one after the other, warmly and naturally. She got the offer 3 days later. It came with a 30% pay increase, a bigger team, and a real path for growth. But the more important thing that changed for Emma that week was not the job. It was something inside her. She had proven to herself that with the right preparation, she could handle any interview in the English-speaking world, warmly and confidently, no matter how nervous she felt walking in. She has been to 6 more interviews since then, over the last 2 years, and she has received an offer from every single one. She now works in a senior role in Manchester, and she recently told me that she genuinely enjoys interviews now, because she knows how to handle them. That can be you. Not in a year. In 1 week of warm preparation, using the 30 questions and 30 answers I have just given you in this video. Please, please take this material seriously. Watch this video more than once. Practice the answers out loud, in your own real voice, with your own real examples, until they come out warmly, without you thinking about them. The next interview you walk into could be the one that changes your entire life, in exactly the way it changed Emma's. And you are more ready for it right now than you were an hour ago. Before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with 3 small truths that I hope will stay with you for every interview of the rest of your life. The first truth is that interviewers want you to succeed. This may surprise you. When you sit across from an interviewer, please remember that they are not there to trap you. They have a real problem, which is that they need to hire someone, and they are hoping, quietly, that you will turn out to be the right person, because that will solve their problem too. When you walk into an interview, you are not walking into a battle. You are walking into a warm collaboration, where 2 people are trying to figure out whether this could work. Please carry this warmth with you into every interview. It will change how you feel in the room. The second truth is that preparation always beats natural talent. There are people who are naturally charming, naturally confident, naturally quick with words. Some of those people walk into interviews unprepared and still succeed, but most of them, over a career, actually lose out to the calm, well-prepared, warm-hearted candidate who did their homework. You do not need to be brilliant. You need to be prepared. And preparation is something anyone can build, warmly, over the course of one focused week. So please, please choose preparation. It is the fair path to a great career, and it is available to everyone, including you. The third truth is that every interview, whether you get the job or not, is a small warm gift for your future. Every interview teaches you something about yourself. Every interview strengthens your English mouth. Every interview builds your professional confidence. Even the interviews you do not get, especially the interviews you do not get, are part of the small warm journey that eventually leads you to the right job. So please, please do not fear rejection. Rejection is not the end. Rejection is a small warm one. In the comments below, please write one small answer to one of the 30 questions we practiced today, in your own words, in your own real life. Any question, any answer, just one small warm sentence. When you write it, you make it real, and you take a small step closer to being ready for your next interview. And I promise you, other learners will read your answer, and they will send you small, warm energy, and you will be part of a quiet, supportive community that no interview room can ever take away from you. If this video helped you today, please give it a warm, gentle like, because it truly helps this small channel grow, and it helps more nervous learners find this exact video, which they might genuinely need for an interview they have coming up. Please subscribe to Bookish English, and please turn on the bell, because every week I share more of this warm, honest, practical English content with you. And your English career deserves every gentle piece of help I can offer. Thank you so much for staying with me for a whole video about the small, quiet art of English job interviews. This is one of the highest value skills any English learner can build, and you spent your precious time here with me today, learning it, answer by answer, all the way to the end. That says something beautiful about you. You are serious about your career. You are serious about your growth. And that seriousness is exactly what will carry you into the fluent, confident, professionally successful English speaker you are quietly becoming. Please remember the small golden shape of every strong answer. Direct answer, small example, warm connection. Please remember the star shape for difficult questions. Situation, task, action, result. Please remember the 4 warm closing questions you can use in any interview. And please, please come back to this video whenever you have an interview coming up, because I will always be here, waiting warmly, ready to help you prepare, one warm answer at a time. Take care of yourself, my warm friend. Prepare warmly for every interview. Speak warmly in every answer. Trust that your English is genuinely good enough. Remember that the interviewer is quietly hoping you are the right person. Remember that preparation beats natural talent every single time. And I, Ariel, will see you very soon, right here on Bookish English, in the next warm lesson. Goodbye for now, and best of luck with the interview that is waiting for you, whenever it comes. Because when it comes, you will not be alone in that room. You will have 30 warm answers already living in your mouth, and one small warm voice, mine, quietly rooting for you from a small quiet corner of the internet. Please, please come back and tell me in the comments when you get the offer, because I will be genuinely, quietly proud of you. See you soon, and please, please go and get the job you deserve.